Now listen, if Dostoevsky had an OnlyFans today, let me tell you, I'd be the biggest patron on that bitch. You understand me? But anyway, what we have here is Dostoevsky's The Idiot, and the title says it all. Now, a lot of people say that, the brothers Karamazov is his greatest work, his opus. And some might say, maybe Crime and Punishment, which, of course, all of them might be true. But listen, I've read those, but listen. Dostoevsky does something phenomenal in The Idiot. There's just something about this novel that just stands out to me from all of his other works. Now, I am not an expert on Dostoevsky. I have read him pretty a lot of his work, right? I've read a lot of his work. And The Idiot, it just stands out to me, right? First of all, I think that this novel is hilarious. Hilarious, right? I mean, some of the stuff in this is wow, you don't really get that side of Dostoevsky unless you kind of read some of his short stories and a bit more obscure works. But this in The Idiot, he just shows another side to himself that it's a welcome. It's a welcome. And I have to say, The Idiot is my favorite book of his because he does something that is genius to me, which is, of course, I've read it, I loved it, and then by the end, I couldn't really tell whether our protagonist, Prince Mishkin, is actually, is he an idiot or is he a divine saint? Now, I lean towards the latter, which is, of course, he is a divine saint. But at the same time, the way this is written, some scenes, I mean, he is kind of an idiot. He is kind of an idiot. You have to, or at least, and this shows Dostoevsky's genius. At least he is viewed as an idiot by most people, even though this guy might have genius in him and a kindness and a compassion and an intelligence that are just pure. They're pure. He's a pure dude. He has Prince Mishkin is our hero here. He has a lot of health problems, especially with his mind. Uh, and for the bigger part of his life, he has lived in sanitariums, in institutions, maybe if you like, insane asylums, right? He has suffered a lot because of his illness. And he is released, of course. He is released and he goes back to St. Petersburg. And a lot of things happen. He meets a lot of people of the, what do you want to call it? The lower classes, the middle classes, a bit of the more higher classes, and leaves an impression on them. You know, there are some people who kind of see him as this pure, immaculate angel that is almost divine. He is almost divine, and I let me tell you, there's a Russian movie about this book, and it's just the way the actor portrays Prince Mishkin is just superb. I recommend it. I think it's free on YouTube, so you better check it out. It's phenomenal. So a couple of people kind of view him as this pure saint type of character. He is innocent, if you want to call it, but not stupid. Let me tell you, some people don't see him as an idiot, as a dummy, right? But most people who interact with him, they just see the surface. They just look at his history, this dummy who has problems, who has been in sanitariums, and they just put him in a box, in a category, and just said, this guy is a dummy, right? He doesn't know what he's saying, right? So most people, they just categorize him as a lower person because of that, because of his illness, and because you know Prince Mishkin has a way of speaking, which is he doesn't say um, what do we want. He doesn't say let's say stupid things or banal matters. He doesn't tackle banal matters, but he has a way of speaking that is innocent. He can put forth an idea on simple terms that can be understood by pretty much everybody. He doesn't uh, 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 speak in a certain manner that might not be understood by uneducated people, right? He talks to everybody the same way, which is great, right? But because of this, the people in of high society, they, and especially one family, they view him as a complete nut job, as a dummy, right? Which is unfortunate because you can clearly tell that Prince Mishkin he is something else. He really stands out. There's a lot of symbolism, Jesus Christ symbolism, Messiah symbolism, whatever, right? But he is a saint, right? He is my favorite character for obvious reasons, and you just have to pick it up and just enjoy it, because listen, this to me, this is Dostoevsky at his best. There's a genius here that not a lot of people talk about, right? Because he is so subtle. He maneuvers in such a way that for me, like I said, I couldn't tell by the end if Prince Mishkin is actually a dummy or if he is a divine saint. And I like to say he is a divine saint, but he has problems. He has an illness, which is a detriment to his, immaculate mind, right? He is a great person. I enjoy him, right? It is written per usual with Dostoevsky. There's nothing outstanding here with the writing. The characters, you know, it's Dostoevsky. A lot of characters here, I dislike them for obvious reasons. They don't impress me. Uh, but the plot, of course, basically not a lot happens here. It's just about him interacting with a lot of characters, and you have these situations that are, either they are hilarious or they are pathetic or they are ludicrous or they are just they're having lunch with this elite family, and they're talking and everybody's making fun of him, but he Prince Mishkin doesn't really catch on because he is not naive per se, but he is innocent in a way because of his suffering, right? And I just have to mention, before this book starts, and Prince Mishkin mentions this at the beginning, Prince Mishkin was a witness to an execution by beheading, a guillotine. And this leaves an incredible impression on him, and the descriptions of this are just, they're fabulous. And let me tell you again, just go and watch the movie if you don't have the time to read this book, because the movie, let me tell you, the movie does such an amazing job of capturing this character, this Prince Mishkin. The movie is fabulous. You have to watch it for obvious reasons. First of all, it's Dostoevsky. Of course, you're going to have to watch it and then read it. It is phenomenal. But of course, I have a couple of criticisms, and this is, listen, a lot of these characters here, I just don't know how to put them, what to do with them. All right, they're just there. They obviously represent different parts of society. They represent different needs and desires, etc. But uh, there's this one guy he meets on a train, which will come back later, and this guy, he wants to marry this lady from the high society, but she doesn't really want to, and they have a bizarre relationship, right? It's bizarre. I don't know what's going on with these two characters. This dude that wants to marry this lady, and the lady with this guy. I don't know what's going on, because they, obviously she despises this dude, but and she kind of likes Mishkin, and Mishkin likes her, but Mishkin also likes this guy, and this guy also likes Mishkin. But because this lady likes Mishkin, then the guy, he kind of tries to kill Mishkin and fails, and it's just, I don't know. That part of this book is really sketchy to me. Really sketchy to me. Those two characters are just, I don't know. I can't put them. Maybe you got it. Maybe you can tell me in a compact, a few sentences, what happens with these two characters. I forgot their names, of course, but the guy that tries to buy this lady from her brother to marry her, and etc. Right? It's just, and in the end, listen, because these two have this bizarre relationship, right? It's cat and mouse, but it's violent. It is, I don't know. It is hateful, spiteful, and it is kind of hinted at the end. Prince Mishkin comes and finds these two. These two finally get married, and Prince Mishkin comes along, and from what I got from it, this guy actually kills that lady, right? I mean, that's what I got from it, and it's so inexplicable to me. It's a bit random. It's a bit not well described or told by Dostoevsky what exactly happened there in that scene, right? But in the end, Mishkin has another seizure, and he has to go back to the sanitarium to be treated, and we're left off with maybe he'll recover, maybe not, which is a sad thing. But yet again, listen, this is a book that you have to read, just because it is, to me, this is Dostoevsky in his more playful way. He Something happened. I don't know the background of this book, what pushed him to write it, and so on. Maybe he had to pay another debt. Who knows? But listen, you gotta read this book. This book to me is one of my favorites. Uh, you have to pick it up. You have to. It is something else. This book is something else. This is an unusual type of Dostoevsky. This is a different side to him that you don't really see that often. He's more playful here. Uh, he is funny. He Some scenes with Prince Mishkin being viewed as an idiot are just hilarious. He says these simple, simple little things that are so nice to hear, but it's to other people it sounds like, a child just saying something random, right? It is divine. It is a divine work. You got to pick up this book. It is great. I highly recommend it. Yeah, yeah, I prefer this one instead of his other big works. But that's just me, the idiot. Is he an idiot? No, obviously. He is much more. He is something tremendous, but unfortunately he has this disease which, you know, has caused a lot of suffering for him. Um, it's not all good. Not all good. But of course, it is also a phenomenal novel to read. There are some problems with this book, of course. Like I said, those two characters, which I don't get. I don't get why we have to be with them for so long. Their little cat and mouse. Marry me? No, I don't want to. Buy me? Okay. There are a lot of characters here that I don't know what's their deal. Okay, to me, and this is just me. Um, to me, this is all about the protagonist, Ja Boy, Prince Michigan. That's all I care about, right? All I care about. And to me, if you can put forth as a writer one single character in your book that just stands out so much and leaves such an impression on me, you've done your job as a novelist, as a writer, right? And here Dostoevsky has done his job perfectly, because that's all I care about is this character. All right, all of the rest, whatever the societal problems and whatever, I don't care. The semantics, I don't care, right? Whatever with those two characters that have this fucking love triangle, whatever. I don't care about that, right? This is about Prince Mishkin. He is our darling, right? An amazing book. It's Dostoevsky. You gotta simp for him, okay? A little bit. You have to simp for Dostoevsky, just a little bit, just a little bit. He is worth it, okay? There's no other way. There's no other way. There's a reason why he is one of the big ones, for obvious reasons. All right, and like I said, you can't just jump into his big books, big works, if you're just starting out, right? Because that's what I did, right? That's what I did. I just started reading in my early 20s, and I just said, you know what, I got these books. I'm just gonna start with Dostoevsky, and I went into the Brothers Karamazov, and wow, that I didn't get it at all. I was just, of course, I didn't have the patience, the attention span. Of course, I didn't have the schooling, the education to understand anything what he was talking about, right? Because I didn't view back then books as this teacher, as this treasure trove of knowledge and so on, right? You can't jump into these big books if you're a bit green when it comes to reading, right? But that's my little story about it, right? The idiot is decent. It does not try to be this momentous thing like the Brothers Karamazov, for example, which is difficult. That book is difficult. This one you can just jump in and you just can take your time and just enjoy it in certain parts. Whenever Prince Mishkin is in a chapter, it's great. It's great. Uh, there is not enough praise for this book. All right, you have to pick it up. You have to take your time and just digest it. Okay, and think about it. What is he really trying to say here with this character, with this title? All right, and the ending, of course, that shows his subtle, elegant genius to me. Okay, because you don't know, you don't, you think you do. Throughout this book, you kind of get him. You think you understand this character, but by the end, you don't really get it. You're still left with this question: is he, as society views him, an idiot, or is he a misunderstood angel? Right? But that's what great books do. They keep haunting you. They keep popping in your mind. Like ghosts. Books are ghosts that keep haunting you. The great books, right? They keep sticking with you for your entire life, and they will not let you sleep and relax. They keep on prodding you to think, to question things, to use your mind. Okay? That's what happened to me. Because in my early 20s, I was, maybe an idiot. I was illiterate. You know, I was dumber than a sack of bricks, right? But then a couple of things happened, and, I just picked up books and I kept on reading them, and slowly but surely, I understood over the years, reading book after book, I understood what they are here to do, and that is to awake you from your sleep. Okay. Most people, they are asleep. Their minds aren't alert. They live in a bubble, right, of illusion. And books are here to slap you out of that. They're going to wake you up, And I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite Dostoevsky quotes, which is, of course, you gotta read, you bastards. You gotta read, and so on. Keep on reading, like Jaboy says. Keep on reading. Phenomenal work.